Right.
So if I'm
But you got to think, 30,000 to them is $30 to me and you. I mean,
right, which is why he's willing to hug him, not lose a game check. Is a big
I'll lose the game check for that. If I'm feeling anything, I'm losing the check.
At that point, that's just dumb. To your point, you just told us they were already losing. It wasn't going to make a difference. Why lose the game check?
Right.
Like,
but then why get in his pockets to begin with?
Yeah.
Because I need you to know that I didn't like what you did, but I also know I'm not trying to lose the game check.
Right.
So that's not happening.
I guess the question I would have is, he clearly got the highest fine because the league felt that he was the most egregious in what he did. Was that worth $35,000? You look like a punk. You got the biggest fine, and now people know how to get under your skin. Like, people don't go bare. If you're a big guy, you're just going to chase him down when he's going to the hoop, and you're going to hit him from behind because you know it's going to drive him nuts, foul or no foul.
Well, because he initiated the whole thing.
Respond like that.
That's probably why he got hit the hardest, because he initiated the whole thing.
Right.
And I think Donovan Mitchell's fine was a little too low for me. Like,
Donovan was trying to get some.
He was just defending a brother. That's all.
No.
No, I hear you, but he was involved.
He was involved.
He was definitely involved. But hey, let's remember this too, guys. He's a superstar on that team.
I agree. I mean, both the two biggest stars in that
Joker,
team.
though. Joker got the fine and the suspension.
Yeah. That's where we go back to saying there's too many inconsistencies in the NBA.
Yeah, but to me, there was no contact. Like, Joker clearly, and he was in the right, in my opinion. Joker made contact with Morris.
But that's the problem I find too many times in all sports, football included. We keep punishing the person that responds harder than the person that's initiating it.
Right.
Too often.
Right.
Like, why is Miles Turner getting the second highest fine? Like, what did he do wrong?
Right.
Outside of standing up for himself. If the referee had done his job and pulled him down, Miles Turner doesn't need to go at him.
Right. What are you supposed to do? Just stand there and let the guy attack you? No. You go back at him. You come at me, I'm coming back at you.
Right. Miles Turner's a big fan of he's a big fan of Chris Rock in The Nutty Professor with the shit on the head. That's what every time I look at him, that's what he looks like. Whenever, not Chris Rock, Dave Chappelle. Whenever he looks at Chappelle, he's doing the stand up, and that's exactly what he looks like. So yeah, the hair is pretty bad.
It is. But I do think I even look back on that Saints Bears game last year in the playoffs when I forget his name. It was their corner. He sticks his fingers in Anthony Miller's eyes. And then Anthony Miller gets fined for slapping him in the face. But again, no one talks about the highlight reel isn't his fingers in his eye. It's Anthony Miller slapping you in the face. But, stupid actions get stupid results. And that's what happens. But no one talks about that. And I feel like it's going into the NBA. Like Morris is viewed as this victim when in all reality, the Morris brothers have been assholes for years. And Joker's the first one to really test that gangster, and he proved it.
And it's bigger than that, just jerks. Like, they're dirty.
Yeah,
If God forbid, if he would have broke Joker's ribs, this is a whole different conversation.
Right.
And that's a 6'8", 240-pound man just shoving you. A game is in hand, game's over, but Joker gets the suspension. Like,
yeah, that wasn't TJ McConnell bumping into Joker. That was a full-grown man that ran into him. Yeah, but I think the league set this up. You were saying this is kind of one of those things where, like, the leagues have been doing this for years. It's always the second person. Always has
Why
been the
is
second
that?
person.
They have competition committees fix it.
Right.
Because they don't care. They don't care. Because the refs will claim we don't have enough eyes to catch every single act. But we have enough eyes that if you continue the act, then we can catch you. And that's where they get busted.
Right.
Well, it's like that in school, too. A kid punch you, right? And you respond aggressively. You don't want to get suspended. You don't want to get sent home. You don't want to get written up with the referral. That's the same thing we see here.
I always got sent home.
I'm just letting you know, if my kid gets punched, I'm giving my child the permission to knock someone the F out.
Absolutely.
That's all I got.
That's what I believe too, but the school system,
right?
And they could suspend my child, and my child will be praised, not punished.
Yeah, for sure, without a doubt.
I found out my goddaughter's little sister, she was getting bullied on by this boy, and the little boy was a little bit smaller than her, and I guess he threw the ball back at her, and it knocked over her cup, and she lifted that little boy up in the air and gave him a shook it. And he ran. He was more embarrassed than anything because my niece got him up in the air. They didn't suspend her or anything. Actually, that was the greatest thing. But when her mom called me, I was like, "Can I send her money?" She was like, "No," because I was happy. Like she's like, "I'm not punishing her," but she's like, "Of course you would love it." I said, "Yeah, because you're not. I don't appreciate bullies, and
Right.
for a bully to get bullied back is the greatest thing in the world, and that's why I feel like Joker, he bullied a bully back. This situation, there really wasn't no bullies. It was just, somebody got in their feelings and somebody else was,
And that's the
there.
definition of Markieff Morris. He think he could punk everybody in the NBA.
Yeah.
And he met his match finally. Jokic said, "I've had enough," and he
I think he met on the low. I think he met his match a few years back. Prime Boogie used to give him those buckets. People forget about that. He never tested Boogie. He never tested Boogie.
He gave Boogie a look, and then
it was like,
Boogie.
I know they never physically fought like that, but that was when I was like, yeah, Boogie's got your number because you didn't even try to guard Boogie. You didn't want no problems with Sacramento Boogie at all.
Hey, Freddie, hold on. This is the quietest I've ever heard Freddie. So, Freddie, are you going to talk to us, or are you going to just keep messaging me what time it is?
No, this fight don't deserve my take. I mean, it's weak. It's nothing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
it wasn't like the Joker. It wasn't like the Joker and Markieff. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, it's just normal basketball, like Ray says. So.
No, the original question was the weird one about the fight. It was about, was it a clean block or was Rudy right to be mad? Like that was the original question, and you just skipped all over that, Freddie. Like this wasn't about the fight.
Yes, it was clean. No, Rudy shouldn't have been mad.
More than anything, he was being sensitive because he got blocked.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I feel. There. See, I'm actually proud that you said more than 3 words in the last 5 minutes. It's the quietest I have ever heard Freddie in my month or 2 months I've been here.
Freddie, I appreciate you giving us some time to speak.
Yes, I guess we'll go to NFL because, like I said, I'm getting bumped, and rushed.
I don't have to change his name to Freddie Bayless again.
Hi, Nate. Oh, please, I did not cut.
So
is Carrot Top coming in off the top rope like Evan Stick?
He does. He's in our background. Nate just pops in when he needs to. We're gonna talk about some NFL news. We're gonna talk about some Cam.
Yes,
Mike called this, and you know what? I had to think about it. He wasn't gonna be reunited with Ron Rivera because it was more of their lashing out versus Cam and the Panthers. So Cam is reunited with the Panthers. My question is, can he really help them? Like at this point in time? Freddie, since you've been so quiet, would you like to go first this time, sir?
Oh hell yeah, he's got to go first because I want Nate, if you can, when we're editing this, I want you to go back to when Freddie said, "Cam Newton, once vaccinated, will be a Washington football team player."
Oh yeah, he wasn't going back to. What happened? Yeah, he was not. He was not going back to Ron Rivera.
What happened, boss?
Mike, I know it makes you happy. For the first time in your podcasting life on ASAP, I was wrong. I know it makes you happy and you gotta brag. It's okay. It's okay. It doesn't feel good. I know it feels good because I get that feeling all the time.
But
leave the hell on. But I mean, hey, look, it's gonna look good for a couple weeks.
You need to restart your internet.
That's the problem.
It's bad.
It's not mine.
It's not yours.
It's not mine. I can hear y'all perfectly.
It's yours.
Yeah, it is.
It's yours. It's not everybody's seeing it. It's yours, boo. I would never say nothing to you. Okay, so Mike talk, and then he took himself off because he was lagging.
This is the best thing that's happened in a long time for the Carolina Panthers, and I think it's because of the way this moves free agency and the way it looks for the franchise. What they did to Cam Newton, the exit that it was, I felt like wasn't what he deserved. And I know I'm getting some looks, but you got to hear me out. You got to understand what this guy did for the Carolina Panthers. What Super Cam was, I'll be a spectator. Yeah, now you messed up because LaDonna's not going to end the show now. But it's a situation to me where now Cam gets to finally have that final act. This is the last dance of the Carolina Panthers and Cam Newton. There's no chance in hell he resigns next year with them. He's going to go. This is basically, to me, proving the next few weeks why you should have a job as a QB1 next. Now, is Cam going to go out there and be Super Cam? As much as I'd love that, he's not. He's not going to be out there. He's not going to be running the way we see Jalen Hurts running or Lamar Jackson or the way we used to see Cam. It's just not going to be like that. I think he's going to be very serviceable. I think if McCaffrey is still healthy, which I don't know because it's a day-to-day thing every single day. I never know if that man's healthy. It's literally like if a man was made of glass is what I compare to Christian McCaffrey. As much as I love him, but Jesus. But I think it's going to be very heavily ran by that. And if you could get Greg Olsen to come out from broadcasting and to have him come back too, just for one last ride, I think this would be so dope.
He is slower than slow. Let's just leave him there.
Cam's not.
But Cam is, I believe, Cam is a little bit faster than.
A little bit. Just a little bit.
Hey,
I like
Greg
Greg Olsen.
Greg Olsen runs as fast as Freddie's internet. All right, it ain't good.
It ain't good.
like Cam and Greg Olsen, that's not.
No, I'm just playing. But I think it is a great fit. I think if Cam is to try to get that third opportunity to prove that he's a QB1, it's a great place for him to fit because, again, it's not like Cam needs to – it's not on Cam's back right now. This is Sam Darnold. Like, you're the reason the Carolina Panthers are in the situation that they're in because, number one, you're not healthy, and number two, when McCaffrey was down, you didn't look great. So this is a situation where Cam can come in and say, okay, I'll give you a couple games, even if he goes 500 within the next 4 to 6 weeks. I think that's perfectly fine. And I think as long as he's playing good ball, I have no problem with this. And that's why I said it from the jump. That's the only place I want him going because the Ron Rivera thing wasn't happening. Going back to New England after getting vaccinated wasn't really even the reason why he was gone, why they got rid of him. So I looked at it like that, and I said the Panthers were the only place that I liked.
So yeah, it's a reunion in Carolina now. Cam is here to save the day. He fits perfectly in Carolina. I mean, that's where his career started. It would be fitting to see his career come to an end there. I think he's grown a lot since he left the first time around. I think he's more focused now, even though he's probably a step slower because he's an older quarterback now and he's dealt with a number of injuries. But this is a guy who's enjoying fatherhood. That can either do two things, right? That could make you really focus or it can send you into a tailspin. So we'll see what Cam Newton can bring to this offense. They need some life because they haven't gotten it from their other quarterback who struggled. Now that they've suffered, some of their players have suffered some injuries, like Christian McCaffrey, and we saw help me out with the quarterback's name. I'm going blank.
Sam Darnold.
Yeah,
Sam Darnold.
PJ Walker.
Yeah, what Sam Darnold couldn't do with this offense without his running back in the backfield. But I think Cam Newton is filled with a sense of exhilaration, knowing that he has a chance to return to his old team and show the world that he still has something left in the tank. Right. I feel as if he has a little bit to prove, in the later stages of his career, and I think he's going to play with a lot of vengeance. Right.
And Nate, I sent you a picture on Messenger. If at any point you can put that up for everyone,
I'll pull it up for
reason why I think that you needed to bring in Cam or somebody because I don't like Darnold. I don't like Darnold at all.
But I think that's the thing.
So I
he looked good early on, and then he suddenly, saw a drop off in production.
So I have two things to say about this. One, the offensive line for the Carolina Panthers, I'm sorry, they're trash. They're terrible. None of the quarterbacks had protection, period.
Right.
And as soon as Christian McCaffrey got down hurt, you bring in a running back who, yes, he can He can run. He can run in between tackles and things. That's all fine and dandy, but he sucks at blocking.
Right.
And you're referring to Chuba Hubbard there. So I think the reason why Sam had that per drop off is because of the protection that he's not really getting. I don't really think it's on him, even though he has thrown a couple of interceptions. I think it's more on the offensive line for not giving him the protection.
Well, having an electrifying running back also helps with that too.
And I need to comment on this comment.
Good.
I want to comment on this comment from Greg. Cam can't stay healthy. Well, we don't know how he's healthy or not healthy. He cannot be because he hasn't played technically in for real in a year, and over a year. So we don't expect him. Do we expect him, like Mike stated earlier, we don't expect him to be the same MVP man. Right. But at the same time, we cannot say how not healthy he can and cannot be because, like I said, he hasn't played. Like Cam could come out there, do his Superman, because the city's going to go crazy and waiting for that. And he could go out and be balls out. He played very little. He didn't play that. He didn't play like he's playing now.
One game last year.
He missed one.
Real quick.
He hasn't played. It's been almost.
I want to say something real quick. A lot of people are saying that Cam was brought back to sell tickets. I don't think this is to sell tickets. And Cam even said it himself that this is not a Cinderella story. This is not to sell tickets. Yes, it's to try to solidify that offense while they still can, and hopefully see a turnaround with Cam.
Who said it was to sell tickets?
I'm sure some people.
Even A. Smith said that.
That makes sense. But I think the other part that's missing is Carolina's 4-5, and when you really think about it, there's only one team's coming out of the NFC East. Only one team's coming out of the NFC North. With Cam, even if he goes 500, they can make the playoffs.
Exactly.
So I think the bar for him is relatively low. I think he will help the run game, even if it's read option occasionally. I think he has the arm that can get Robbie Anderson the ball down the field. I think he provides a threat on offense that you don't have to game plan when you have Sam Darnold back there, and you don't have to worry about PJ throwing the ball because he can't throw. So I think it's a good mix.
It's going to be between them and the Falcons. If the Falcons keep winning like they're doing, it's going to be between, like you stated, it's going to be between them and
I said it
and the Panthers.
I'm so upset with Julio Jones because I felt like that offense, if Julio stayed, Calvin Ridley doesn't have his problem right now, and Kyle Pitts, I feel like they're even better with Julio. So I definitely do think – I'm not saying they'd make a playoff appearance to the extent of winning a playoff game, but I think they'd probably be somewhere about seven wins or so right now.
Well, right now, AJ Terrell is like the stingiest CB right now. Like he's got the fewest yards. Yeah. So that defense, even though it's not looking all that great, it's still something troublesome. Like the Cowboys play on this weekend, and that's one of the defenses I'm actually kind of worried about.
They're in playoff picture right now, but they're in playoff picture because they beat the teams that they're supposed to.
But that's fine. There's two aspects that you guys, Nate touched on a little bit. They just put 2 offensive linemen on IR. They're done. They're done for the season. So already bad offensive line is now going to be hindered more.
Right.
The thing that people aren't talking about too is this defense has a lot of talent. You have Brian Burns, you have Jeremy Chin, you have guys at all 3 levels of this defense, which is something that when Cam Newton has had before with the Panthers has been successful. And I'm not talking about just the 15-1 season. I'm talking about other seasons when Carolina was in it. Yeah. The problem that they have, and this is where I think a lot of people, at least in mock draft season, if Pitts got past Atlanta, Pitts to Carolina made sense because you have McCaffrey who can run the ball and catch the ball out of the backfield. Right. You have DJ Moore and Robbie Anderson who can run those deeper routes. The problem that they have, and you joked about Greg Olsen, they don't have an 8 to 17 player. They don't have somebody who can get 8 yards down the field to that 17 mark. They can run those deep crosses. They can run those outs and get the ball. The problem is right now is you just don't have those players. So Cam, can he flick the wrist and throw it 50 yards down the field? Absolutely. I'm a New England fan. I liked Cam last year, and I liked him coming into this season. I didn't want Mac Jones. I wanted Cam Newton because I thought he could grow in the offense. What Cam's biggest issue is going to be is he is not a rhythm passer. He's just not. And they're going to have to pass the ball to be successful this season. And he hasn't played. I don't know what his workout regimen is outside of the gym. He needs to throw the ball. He needs to get with these guys and catch because McCaffrey, like you guys said, he's limited. He's going to get healthier, presumably. That's all timing. Passes out of the backfield are timing. He doesn't have that timing with anybody. So I think they can compete for a playoff position. I'm just not sure if like the first couple of games are going to look bad to me. They're just going to look bad.
But I think you just get back to what Cam was and where he works best. Like when they had Jonathan Stewart back in the day and they had the 2 running back system, I think they can replicate that. I think they have the Robbie Anderson that can play almost the Steve Smith role. I think the goal is to run the ball, play good defense. And I know you said earlier Cam's not re-signing. He's only 32. He's had some time off these last couple of years. The quarterback of the future is not on that roster. I don't see why if he leads them to the playoffs, he couldn't come back and similar to Mike Vick get another big deal because
the only thing is because they paid Sam Darnold. Right. That how much money they
Hey,
how much
this was my point. Wait, LD, this was my point. If this right here, after 6 years in the league, is the face of your QB1, trying to figure out where all the defensive players are, hold on. That's not it.
First off, that's not it. He hasn't been in the league 6 years.
He hasn't who? Sam Darnold? He hasn't been.
This is his 4th year because they picked up the 5th-year option next year. So they owe over $10 million next year, no matter what.
Guys, I gotta wrap this up because I gotta jump over to the NBA.
Excuse me, I'm wrapping it up. We know that you gotta wrap it up. I got reminded by Freddie every 30 seconds and it annoyed the hell out of me.
He sent me the link. He annoyed.
We got it, Freddie. We understood. Thank you so much, everybody that came watching. Hopefully next week I'll shorten the topics down. Maybe we'll only talk about NFL or vice versa.
Let's bring Joe in and what's my God.
Ray.
Let's bring Joe and Ray back because they're awesome. I learned a lot from them tonight.
Yes, next Wednesday,
guys. So bear with me.
Well, thank you guys for having me on. This was a blast.
Yeah, a real good time. Typically, I record my podcast on Friday nights at this time, but we can see what happens.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'm saying even like Wednesday nights, we have a show on Wednesday nights at the same time. If Wednesday nights are better, and we're on longer Wednesday nights. Fast break is right after, and that's why we are wrapping it up. And it's going to be with these 2 gentlemen and Freddie and
Nope. I already said
he wants to stick around. He wants to stay on the better show.
See, and that's why I said, but Freddie yelled at me. So I'm going to watch the Bulls with them. But yeah, I'm going to watch that game. But thank you, everybody. Thank you, Nate. And we will see you guys. Nate, you ready?
LDZ, we're out.
Whole sports all plays. 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 Whole sports all plays.